Welcome back to the second half of the Climb in the Pocket podcast. We just wrapped up a great segment with Dr. David J. Chow, who shed some light on Sam Bradford, Dalvin Cook, and Teddy Bridgewater's injury and shared a great Charger story of his as well. A lot of great insight from Dr. Chow. But we're moving on now. We're on to Chicago, Soldier Field, the field of nightmares for the Vikings. So, Yinka, I'll start with you. How are you feeling heading into Chicago? But first, my bad. What is your question of the night?
Yeah, man, we can't forget about the traditional question of the day. So this is something I actually been thinking about. We did this. I was part of this stand-up comedy club at the U, and something we went around the room with. We talked about sitcoms that we would come up with, like an idea or something. So if you guys had to create a sitcom, what would it be called? And then what would kind of the premise of it be? I'll start with mine. Mine is actually it would be called it'd be called Mr. I think it's be called Mrs. First Man. It's would it be called? And it would just center around like obviously this the wife she became president. She's all smart and all put together and stuff, and she has a just like a goofy ass husband who just like he's bright and creative, but he tends to try to overhelp his wife too often to make sure that she's all good with the country and stuff. And obviously it leads to a bunch of shenanigans, and she has to like either bail him out or he has to like cover up some mistake that he made that potentially could lead the world to destruction and all that stuff. So yeah, just it kind of follows their relationship, their marriage, and they have kids and stuff, and it's kind of it's very similar to like a not Arrested Development, but like it's something similar to that, or a Parks and Rec and stuff. So that's my idea.
Miles, what about you?
To be honest, I've never ever thought about it, so I don't know. I mean, I like shows like Parks and Rec and The Office, and I like shows like that. So maybe try to go something along those lines.
Like a football, The Office version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Or I don't know. As long as it's got Aziz Ansari in it, I think we're good.
I got to go with Miles. I'm not a big sitcom guy, and I really don't know what I would have as my topic of discussion or anything like that. But as y'all know,
you could be doing coaching. I mean, essentially we could just set it up. Miles is on the football side of things, kind of the Office style, and yours is on the coaching side of things. Maybe you have a head coach who's not too bright, and all the other assistant coaches are a lot smarter than he is. And he'd be calling dumb things often, but they have like this little secret thing between the players and the assistant coaches where it's just like forget everything, just look at all calls. He always the dummy call. So you're welcome, y'all. I just made up shows for you.
We'll take it. We'll go with that.
Run it.
We'll go with it. But as I said before, Detroit is in the rearview window. Tough loss. Moved on from it. Tough divisional loss, but it's time to move on. We're on to Chicago. Going to the field of nightmares, Soldier Field, where we have been haunted for a very long time. Miles, what's your thoughts heading into Monday?
I don't like because this is only the fifth game of the season, and I hate this phrase this early in the season, but it's kind of one of those like must-win games. Again, I hate it, but I feel like it's just at that point, back-to-back divisional games. You lose one at home to the Detroit Lions. You can't lose to this Chicago Bears team. They're not. The Vikings team is a way better team with or without Dalvin Cook than this Chicago Bears team. The only thing that they have right now that's going for them is, they might have a little more excitement than usual because they're starting a brand new rookie quarterback in Mitchell Trubisky, so that could just kind of give them a little bit more like juice than they might with a guy like Glennon. So it's a little more of a what to expect. Does he come out and not really fear the Vikings defense, and does Zimmer dial it back a little bit, which I hope he doesn't. I don't expect him to either, of not going after Trubisky almost every play. Otherwise, I just kind of want to see, how does this team adapt now that Dalvin Cook's gone? How do they adjust their offense? Because that's what they curtailed the offense around was Cook, and then obviously using Thielen and Diggs. I mean, you get that wrinkle back and potentially using in Michael Floyd. I'm not sure how much he'll play, but how does this offense adapt with Latavius Murray and Jerick McKinnon led up run game instead of Dalvin Cook? So that's kind of the biggest story on offense. Defense, can the defense stop the run game? They got gashed by the Lions last week by Amir Abdullah, and the Bears they don't have an Amir Abdullah as much. They have Tariq Cohen, who's more of the Darren Sproles type, but which is in a similar sense kind of Amir Abdullah. So curious to see how they counter him, and then what do they do against Jordan Howard? None of the receivers worry me. None of the passing game doesn't worry me. It's the run game for the Bears.
And I agree with a lot of things that you said, especially offensively. How does this team adapt now that Dalvin Cook is shelved for the year with that torn ACL? I really don't know what to expect out of the running game. Latavius Murray, he didn't look really healthy last week. Couldn't really cut or have any burst on that surgery-healed ankle. And Jerick McKinnon, we all know he's not an every down back. He's more of the guy that can get 8 to 10 carries max. So it'll be interesting to see how that sequence of running backs or rotation of running backs is. We know Stephen Ridley probably won't be in the picture this week just because it's too soon in the process for him, considering they just got signed today. But how will they adjust without the threat of Dalvin Cook being out there, and how many carries will they give Latavius Murray and Jerick McKinnon? I'm expecting more of a vertical passing game just because I don't think the rushing attack will be the same or as good without Dalvin Cook now out of the picture, just because Murray's not a home run threat or McKinnon's not a home run threat to bust one in a split second like Dalvin was, and they just don't have the ability to consistently break tackles or make people miss in space like Dalvin was. But what we have shown this year is to have a consistent passing game. Diggs and Thielen have played out of their minds this year, and they've provided a great threat for Keenum and Bradford when he was in there. Defensively, I really don't know. They haven't seen Trubisky on film besides the preseason, and we know teams keep it really vanilla during the preseason. They're not going to show all the concepts that they have installed for him, and who knows what concepts they have installed for Trubisky this week just to keep things easier on him. I don't know if Mike Zimmer is going to blitz a lot or if he's going to sit back and play coverage. I highly doubt that he does that. I think he does end up blitzing the young Trubisky a lot and mixing up the looks a lot. That's just my assessment on the game. Yinka, what's your thoughts heading into Soldier Field on Monday?
I mean, Miles definitely pinpointed that it is a must-win game, but I think it's another thing. It's also a trap game. We saw it in the last couple of years, especially with Mike Zimmer, is there are some games where I feel like they're not that they're easy wins, because there's no easy wins in the National Football League, but games that should highly favor the Vikings. And I think Zimmer has a tendency to overthink, and when he overthinks things, he tends to get outcoached. We saw this in the game where we're facing Carson Wentz last year. We saw this in various situations where it was clear that Vikings had the better players. They have they should have more things going for them on all three phases, but for whatever reason, they fall victim to losing.
Oh, as usual, Prince's Wi-Fi has checked out on us. It happens at least once or twice a show. Hopefully he'll come back. Who knows? We'll see. I wish I could see Yinka. He's actually walking around his room during this pod, working on his throwing form, trying to get ready for those flag football games.
I don't want that to happen for them.
He's back. There we go. Yinka, just continue your thoughts on the game and everything.
Sorry, what happened?
We lost you for like.
Yeah, we lost you.
Sorry, my bad. I just think that essentially what I'm saying is I think this is a trap game. I don't want Mike Zimmer to overthink things and try to do too much. And I think he should just focus on doing the things he does well and not try to overthink things when it comes to playing against a rookie quarterback.
And, Mr. Trubisky, this is his first career NFL start. Who knows how it'll go? I know a lot of people have been tweeting today that the Vikings are notorious for making rookie quarterbacks look really good. And, I mean, Trubisky looked really well in the preseason. He performed really well when he was in there. And a lot of people were high on Trubisky coming out. He was a lot of people's first quarterback on the board, or tops on their board, and he was the first quarterback taken this year in the draft. The Bears traded some draft picks for him. They moved up to get him, moved up one spot for him. So they really wanted him. And they don't really have a lot of pieces around him right now. They have a really good running game with Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen. But on the perimeter, he really doesn't have a lot to work with. Their tight ends are okay. Zach Miller is okay. Their offensive line, their interior offensive line is good, but their tackles aren't really good right now. So we're going to put you guys on the spot. I need a score prediction and a bold prediction heading into Monday. Starting off with you, Yinka.
Score prediction. I think this is a game Vikings can score. I would say, I'm worried about it being a trap game, but I still think the Vikings can win. So I'm going to say 27-21 Vikings. Bold prediction. Let's see. Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs are both 100-yard receivers in this game.
Is that really bold, though?
Yeah, I mean, usually, the weird thing is, one kind of has a slightly better. Okay, here's what I'll say: both wide receivers are going to be both 150-yard wide receivers this game.
There you go. That's bold. That's definitely bold.
Yeah, there we go.
Miles, what about you?
I'm gonna go. I don't think it's gonna be all that high scoring. I think it's gonna be 20-10 Vikings. I'm gonna go. The Vikings pick off Trubisky 3 times and create up to 5 turnovers.
Oh, that's very bold. I'm going to say 17-13. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Rain is in the forecast, so it's going to be slippery. We know Soldier Field is not the best surface for playing on game day, so the Vikings offense, I just don't know. I didn't like what I saw last week from the running game, and I think Dalvin Cook is going to prove to be a major loss. So I don't really see them scoring a ton of points this week. And the Bears with the rookie quarterback, I don't see them scoring a ton of points. So I got it 17-13 Vikings. My bold prediction, I'm kind of contradicting myself. I think Latavius Murray goes over 100 yards.
I was going to use that one too. I almost did.
I think that's very, very bold on my part, considering I'm not a big Latavius Murray fan, just based off what I saw last week. But I mean, we gave him $5 million a year in the offseason, signed a 3-year, $15 million contract. So he has a chance to prove his worth right now. And this is what he thought he was walking into now that Dalvin Cook is gone. And we signed him before even drafting Dalvin Cook. So this is what Latavius Murray wanted. This is the opportunity he wanted. Hopefully he'll seize the moment. So any upcoming projects from you guys that you want to plug or previous work that you've done, starting off with you, Yinka?
No, I think I might do a preview for the Bears game. And I might do a kind of just like a first quarter, what we look like. Just break down, some areas that we're working, some areas that need to improve. And that'll come on various sites that I write for. So,
Miles, you got anything upcoming?
I've been getting into college a lot more as of late, and now that I kind of got my new computer, my new work situated, I'm gonna start writing up some stuff. It's coming. I promise. It's coming.
We definitely will be expecting that. Who's some guys you like in the draft so far this year that you've seen, Miles?
Oh, man. I haven't – oh, man. Got me on the spot here because I know – I mean, right now, a lot of the big name guys that I've watched, the Connor Williams, the Arden Key, a lot of those guys. But I'm gonna start diving into the guys that people aren't hearing about. But
do any of you guys like Quentin Nelson at all?
Who? Oh,
Quentin Nelson.
I think he'd be a great fit for the Vikings.
He definitely would be a great fit, and he's very, very likable, and definitely a Vikings Twitter favorite, as we've seen over the past few days and up to this point. So Quentin Nelson definitely is a Vikings Twitter favorite. Yinka is really laughing really hard right now, which is hilarious.
Another guy I really like. I know you don't like him as much, Jared, but I'm a Luke Falk guy. I still like Luke from Washington State. I think he's gonna be like a mid third day guy that I think could potentially be like a high, go in the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah, Daniel Jeremiah actually tweeted about him, and he shared an article that he wrote just asking some scouts what they thought of him, and the comparisons were really all over the place, but
yeah,
very similar players. I know Matt Hasselbeck and Kirk Cousins were two players that were very comparable in his article, and I think you're exactly right. I like Luke Falk. I think he can definitely fall into a Kirk Cousins-like situation where somebody takes quarterback high, and they come back in the 4th or 5th round, or even the 3rd round, and take Luke Falk, and he ends up being the better player out of the two. I definitely could see a situation like that.
He'll be a New England Patriot.
I can't wait till my brother joins the Vikings so he can pick off Luke Falk again once he gets drafted in the preseason. It's gonna happen. Book it.
That definitely will be something we'll be looking forward to, and just tracking the progress of your brother. Yinka is still baller's life mode right now, throwing the football all over his room right now.
Hey, man, I ball's life, man.
We need an update on the flag football game.
The game got canceled.
So the game last week got canceled. Miles is actually supposed to come out, and we have another game that's coming Friday. Obviously, the Vikings game. So, I'll be there for part of this. On Monday, yeah. I'll be there on Monday, so I'll miss part of the game. I'm hoping Miles can join the following Monday, and then we can ball out. Y'all can see. Y'all can see what Prince actually produces when he has the number 1 wide receiver. So I'm a system quarterback.
How's the install going? I know you were saying you were installing a couple plays this week. How's that going?
Yeah, I feel so bad for your teammates. Prince is at work, like, drawing up plays, like, hey, what do y'all think of this?
The funny thing is, I was just going through some stuff today. I just kind of looked at which plays I like better to be zone versus man. Because a lot of people, they'll play, they'll start to play man, but then they'll drop into a zone. And I haven't quite got to install with them yet, but I'm definitely refining it so it's a lot easier for me to just relay it to them, and they can remember it really easy. So it's only 4 plays so far.
we're definitely gonna need some video evidence and some footage, because we can't really grade your performance without any tape.
Yeah, we need film. Me being a film guy, I have to agree with that. But I do have somebody who will be coming out on Monday. Take film for me, and then y'all. You
gotta get that yards per attempt up, though, man. Come on.
Hey, my yards per attempt is actually pretty good. It's my and my ADOT's pretty good too. It's just that I've actually been really good in the intermediate game. Surprisingly enough, I've been good in the long game, been good in the short game. Intermediate game needs to get stepped up a little bit. That's where my interceptions are coming from. So
that's your favorite quarterback's, like, that's his bread and butter.
It used to always be my bread and butter, but now I've been throwing the ball more accurate down the field, and then when no one can get open, I find my check down. But intermediate, I'm just not playing well, y'all. Just not. I'm just gonna admit it to you right now. Not playing well.
So you're like Eli Manning right now, then.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be more like Teddy, where I was always good in the short and intermediate game. And then, I never really was good because I didn't have the strong arm to throw down the field. But, I've been working out a little bit, and arm's a little bit stronger. And, driving with the leg, getting a good base, and ball soaring out my hands. So,
well, we'll definitely be looking forward to the film from the next flag football game. And we can only grade what you put on film, Prince. We haven't seen any clips so far, but we'll definitely be looking forward to that. On behalf of the whole Climb in the Pocket team, I'm JR, Miles, Yinka, signing out. Thank y'all for listening.